10 little soldier boy went out to dine. One shook his little self and then they were 9. 9 little soldier boys sat up very late. One overslept himself and then there were 8. 8 little soldier boy traveling in Devon. One sail stayed there and then there were 7. 7 little soldier boy chopping up sticks. One chopped himself in half and then there were 6. 6 little soldier boy playing with a hive. A bumblebee stung one, then there were 5. 5 little soldier boy going in for law. One got into chancery and then there were 4. 4 little soldier boy going out to sea. A red herring swallowed one and then there were 3. 3 little soldier boy walking in the Sioux. A big bear hugged one and then there were 2. 2 little soldier boy playing with a gun. One shot the other and then there was 1. 1 little soldier boy left all alone. He went out and hanged himself and then there were none.
We've been up to the top. No sign of that boat yet.
It's very early still.
No sign of breakfast either. Where's Rogers?
Let's bother about breakfast.
How's the weather looking?
Well, wind has freshened up a bit. Old boy in the train yesterday said we're due for bad weather. Shouldn't wonder if he wasn't right.
I wish that boat would come. The sooner we get off this island, the better. It's absurd not keeping a boat on an island. And where's Rogers? He ought to be about.
Well, if you ask me, Master Rogers was pretty badly rattled last night, especially after Marston's death.
I know. Ghastly. The whole thing.
Ah, sleep well, General.
Yes. I dreamed of Liezl. My wife, you know.
Oh, I see. I wish Narcot would come already.
Who is Narcot?
The bloke who brought us over yesterday afternoon.
Oh. Was it only yesterday?
Oh, there you are, ma'am. I've been all over the place looking for you. Could you come up and have a look at my wife, ma'am?
Yes, of course. Is she feeling under the weather still?
She's.
Are you hungry, General? Feeling like breakfast?
Liezl, my dear.
No, I'm not. I'm Vera Claythorne.
Forgive me. I took you for my wife.
Well, good morning. Seems to have overslept myself. Is the boat here yet?
No, it hasn't.
It's a bit late, isn't it? Oh, good morning. You and I could have had a swim before breakfast.
Well, too bad you overslept yourself.
You must have good nerve to sleep like that.
Hello, that's strange.
What is?
You remember we found one of these little fellows smashed last night. I remember there are 10 of them here when we arrived.
Well?
There are only 8.
Oh, so there are. Oh, hello, Armstrong. What's the matter?
Mrs. Rogers is dead.
No!
How?
She died in her sleep.
What was it? Heart?
It's still impossible to say.
She might have been poisoned, I suppose, Doctor?
Oh, well, it is perfectly possible.
She had a bad fright last night. Perhaps it was heart failure?
But what caused it to fail?
Call it, if you prefer, an act of God.
Let's be practical here. What did the woman have to eat or drink last night? After she went to bed, that is.
Rogers assures me she had nothing whatsoever.
I see. But that's what he said.
No, that's impossible. A man wouldn't do that. Not to his wife.
You'd be surprised, Miss Claythorne, what some husbands would do.
Excuse me, miss. I'm getting on with breakfast. I'm not much of a hand as a cook, I'm afraid. But there's lunch. That's worrying me.
Lunch? Lunch? We shan't be here for lunch. And when the hell is that boat coming?
You pardon me, sir, but the boat won't be coming.
What?
Freight never crossed over here before it. Is there anything else you require, miss?
No, thank you, Rogers.
Very little time. Very little time.
What's that, General?
Very little time. We mustn't waste it talking about things that don't matter.
But what can we do?
Oh yes, we can do something. We can find that funny gentleman who staged this whole little joke. Mr. Unknown Oven. I'll bet you anything you like, he's somewhere on this island. And the sooner we get a hold of him, the better. 10 little soldier boys. There were 10 of us after Narragansett went one day. 10 little soldier boys went out to dine. One choked his little self, and then there were 9. Marston choked himself, didn't he? And then 9 little soldier boys sat up very late. One overslept himself, and then there were 8. Overslept himself? That last part fit Mrs. Rogers rather well, doesn't it?
You don't think... You mean he wants to kill us all?
Oh yes, I believe he does.
And each one fits with the rhyme.
No, it's impossible. It must be coincidence.
Oh, there's only 8 little soldier boys here. I suppose that's a coincidence too? What do you think, Blore?
I don't like it.
None of us will ever leave this island.
Oh, can somebody shut up, Grandpa?
And the sooner we get back to work, the better. Come on, Armstrong. Come on, Bone.
All right. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Nobody's got a revolver by any chance.
Oh. I've got one.
Always carry that about with you?
Oh, usually. I've been in some tight places, you know.
If there's a homicidal maniac on this island, well, you've probably never been in a tighter place than you are today.
You may be wrong there, Blore. Many homicidal maniacs are very quiet, unassuming people.
If Mr. Owen turns out to be that kind, well, we'll leave him to you, Doctor. Now, I suggest we make a start. I suggest Captain Lombard searches the house, while we do the island.
Well, don't you worry about that. But you two had better stick together. Because remember, one got left behind.
Come on, Armstrong.
Very energetic young man, Captain Lombard. Where are you going?
I'm gonna sit in the sun and think, dear young lady.
Where did I put that skein of wool?
Upstairs. Shall I go and see if I can find it?
No. I'll go myself. I know where it's likely to be.
I'm glad Captain Lombard has got a revolver.
They're all wasting time.
Do you think so?
Yes. It's much better to sit quietly and wait.
Wait. Wait for what?
For the end, of course. I wish I could find Liezl.
Your wife?
Yes. I'd wish you known her. I loved her very much, of course. Arthur Richmond was my ADC. They used to hang out a lot, and it didn't bother me. Damn fool. When I was out in France, she wrote letters to both of us. She put the letter in the wrong envelope, so I knew.
No. I wonder what the others are doing.
And I sent him to his death.
What do you mean?
You don't understand. I thought you would. Well, we're all going to die here, you
General!
know. No, don't talk to me that way. You don't understand. I want to sit here and wait. Wait for Liezl to come to me.
It's all correct. No secret passage. Just one course.
Don't!
I say you do look well. How about I make you a drink to steady your nerves?
Drink? 2 cars in the house at 9 o'clock in the morning and all you can say, have a drink?
All right. Stay thirsty.
You're nothing but a waster. An adventurer.
I'd say you are, Vera. What's the matter, my sweet?
I'm not your sweet.
I'm sorry. I rather thought you were.
Oh, you can think again.
Come on now. I know you don't really feel like that. You know, you and I, we got a lot more in common than you think. Rogues and murderers can't fall out.
Rogues and murderers?
All right. So you don't like the idea of rogues and murderers, and you won't have a drink. Well, that's fine. I'll just go back to searching then.
Can't find it anywhere. Is anything the matter?
I'm worried about General.
Looking out for the boat, General? The scene has found him out.
What? Don't!
What? One must face fact. Even if his wife was no better than she should be, he had no rights to take judgment into his own hands.
What about Beatrice Taylor?
Are you referring to that absurd accusation about myself?
Yes.
Now that we're alone, I have no objection to tell you the fact of the case. Beatrice Taylor was in my service. I was so much deceived in her. She had nice manners, was clean and willing. Of course, all that was the surest hypocrisy. She was a loose girl, with no morals. Disgusting. It was some time before I found out that she was in trouble. It was a great shock to me. Her parents were decent folks too.
How old was she?
17?
Only 17?
Old enough to know how to behave. I told her what a low, depraved thing she was, and no decent people would take her into their house. I told her that I felt soiled by ever having her under my roof.
Poor little devil.
I have no patience with such indulgence towards sin.
I suppose you turned her out of the house?
Of course.
Oh my God, she didn't dare to go home. Did you feel like when you found she drowned herself?
Feel like?
Yes. Didn't you blame yourself?
Certainly not. I have nothing with what to approach myself.
I believe you really feel like that. And that makes it even more horrible.
Darker, unbalanced. They shall close themselves with trembling, they shall sit up with the ground, and shall tremble at every moment, and be astonished at every.
There's no cover on the island, no caves, no one could hide anywhere.
That's right. What about the house, Captain Lombard?
There's no one in this house but ourselves. I'll stake my life on that. I've been over it, from the attic to the cellar.
Breakfast is getting cold.
Oh, breakfast! Come on, Blore. You've been yelping for breakfast ever since we got here. Let's eat, drink, and be merry. For tomorrow we die, or who knows, perhaps, maybe even today.
You ought to be ashamed of such levity, Captain Lombard.
Oh, General, can I have some breakfast? Good God! What got left behind? There's a knife in Mackenzie's back.
He's dead! He's dead.
Who could have done it? There's only us on the island.
Exactly, my dear sir. Don't you realize that this criminal is one stage ahead of us? He knows exactly what we're gonna do next, and there's only one place. You know where a successful murderer could hide and have a reasonable chance of getting away with it.
But one place? Where?
Here, in this room. Mr. Owen is one of us.
Miss Lawrence!
Well, Mr. Blore,
I think I know which one's the murderer.
really?
Ever heard of the Lizzie Borden case? Old couple killed in the middle of the morning. But they acquitted her because they found no other explanation.
Then your answer to the problem is Miss Emily Brent?
I tell you, that woman is as mad as a hatter. She's the one. She knows quite well she's in no... Hush!
My God, it's something like a storm in here.
Oh, it's only you.
Who did you think it was? Beatrice Taylor.
It's not a hope of rescue until this dies down. Is that coffee? Good. I'm taking coffee now, you see.
I do not, of course, profess to be aware of profit, but I should say that it is really unlikely that a boat would meet us. It's terribly cold in here.
I could light the fire if you want, miss.
That would be a good idea.
Very sound scheme, Rogers.
Excuse me, but does anybody know what's become of the top bathroom curtain?
Top bathroom curtain.
Yes, scarlet oil silk is missing.
Well, has anybody seen a scarlet oil silk curtain? No good, I'm afraid, Rogers.
It doesn't matter, sir. I just thought it was old.
Well, everything on this island is odd.
I'll get some stick and a few knocks of coal. I get a nice fire going.
I wonder if he would like some hot coffee. Rogers?
No, what's become of Armstrong?
She went to her room to rest.
Oh my god. Somebody probably batted her one by now.
Won't be so easy now that we're all on guard.
I advise you, Mr. Blore, not to be too confident.
Oh, here. Does he want something?
No, he would like to make himself a nice cup of tea.
Hmm.
What about Dr. Armstrong? Do you think we ought to take her up a cup?
I'll take it up if you like.
Oh, I can take it. I want to change.
Yes, you have to. You catch cold.
I think Dr. Armstrong might prefer to see me. She might not admit you, Dr. Lombard. She might be afraid of your revolver.
Yes. That revolver. I want to speak to you about that.
Do go and change.
What a damn suspicious fellow you are, Blore.
I know a fishy story when I hear one.
I'd like to hear what you've got to say.
Whoa. So I've got a letter asking me to come here as a guest of Mr. and Mrs. Owen, and that it will be worth my while. The writer, he have heard that I've got a reputation of being a good man type place. And there might be some danger, but I'll be alright if I keep my eyes open.
I would never have fallen for that.
Well, I did. I was bored. And it was an intriguing proposition, you must admit.
Too vague for my liking.
But that was the whole charm. And it aroused my curiosity.
Do go and change, please.
I'm going, my sweet, I'm going. The maternal instinct, I think it's called.
Don't be ridiculous.
Sure is getting cold in here, isn't it?
I wish Rogers would hurry up.
Yeah. Where is Rogers? He's been a while.
He said he's got to get some sticks.
Sticks? Oh my god! Sticks!
Oh my god!
Are there only 6?
There are only 5.
5?
Rogers and Lombard?
No, not Philip.
Rogers!
Where the hell's Blore off to like a madman?
Have you seen Rogers?
No, why?
2 more soldiers have gone.
2?
Yes, I thought it was you.
Well, what is it?
In the scullery.
Is he?
He's dead, all right.
How?
With an axe. Somebody must have come up behind him while he was bent over the wood box.
One chopped himself in half. And then there were 6.
Vera. She'll be alright, boys. What's next? Bees? Or do they keep bees on this island? Well, that's the next worst, isn't it? 6 little soldier boys playing with a hive. A bumblebee stung one, and then there were 5. Well, a bumblebee stung one. We still all look pretty spry. Nothing wrong with any of us. My God, you don't think? A hypodermic syringe.
What did these things?
Well, she was sitting there. One of us.
One of us.
Which of us?
5 little soldier boys sitting in a row, watching each other and waiting for the blow. New version up to date.
I hardly think this is a moment for facetiousness.
Well, then to relieve the gloom, how about we play a nice round game of inventing one called Suspicions? I'm your fancy, aren't I, Blore?
I wouldn't say no to that. I say you've acted suspiciously from the start. You told 2 different stories. You brought a revolver to the island, and now you say you've lost it.
I have lost it.
'Cause that's a likely story.
Oh, you mean I've somehow catch it away and have it ready for the next time?
Shouldn't be surprised.
Why do you use your brain, Blore? If I wanted to, I could have shot a lot of you by now. Pop, 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 pop.
I think the precaution we have now adopted will be adequate.
I tell you, we shall all be dead. All but one. You think of something new. He's thinking now.
Poor Louise. What was her name? Cleese? Was it nerves that made you do her in? Doctor?
No. Drink. I used to be a heavy drinker. I was drunk when I operated. Quite a simple operation. My hands shaking over the place, and I killed her.
So I was right. That's how it was?
The nurse kept it a secret. I gave up drinking. Give it up altogether. Went in for study of nervous diseases.
Very successfully.
Then I got lucky. For the past year or 2, I've been so busy I've hardly known which way to turn. I got to the top of the tree.
Well, until Mr. Unknown Owen and down come doctors in cradles and all.
Will you stop your damnable sneering?
Gentlemen, please.
That's all right. I apologize. And if you won't be offended at my saying so, Miss Lawrence, you're my fancy.
This is hardly the moment, Captain Lombard, for any of us to indulge in the luxury of taking offense.
Well, I don't think it's Blore. I may be wrong, but just don't feel like you got the imagination for the job. Well, all I can say is that if you are the murderer, I'll take my hat off to you for a fine damn actor.
Thank you. For nothing.
And I don't think it's the doctor. I just don't believe she got the nerves. What about you, Vera? You got plenty of nerves. But I think you would only commit a crime if you had a thoroughly good motive.
Thank you. I've thought of something.
This man says he's a police officer, but we've no proof of that. Perhaps the police officer is an impersonation.
He's a police officer, all right. I mean, look at his feet.
Okay, that's enough from you, Mr. Lombard.
Well, now we know where we are. Miss Claythorne suspects you, Doctor. And I suspect Miss Lawrence. Blore suspects me. And Armstrong suspects Blore. And what about you, man?
I think it would be inadvisable to mention the person name at the present time.
Inadvisable. In the public interest?
Exactly.
I wonder what happened to the bathroom curtain. The one that Rhoda's missed. They seem to have been disappearing. Miss Brent lost a skein of wool.
So the murderer, whoever he or she is a kleptomaniac too?
How does it go? 5 little soldier boys.
Going in for law. And one guy in chancery.
In chancery? But how could that apply? Unless, of course.
Precisely, my dear young lady. That's why I'm sitting right here.
I'm so hungry. You know, starving ourselves like this won't do us any good. Hurry off for cigarettes.
I haven't got any.
I've run out too.
Fortunately, I'm a pipe smoker.
I've got a whole box upstairs in my suitcase. I'll go get them. I could do with a cigarette myself. See that you all stay where you are.
Her nerves are in a bad state.
I don't think I would agree with you there, Doctor. Miss Claythorne strikes me as very cool and resourceful young lady. Quite remarkably so.
So that's your idea, isn't it? That she's a guilty party?
Hardly likely. A woman.
You and I, Doctor, see a woman from slightly different angle. Who's that?
Philip, where are you?
I'm here!
Why can't we have some lights? It's awful in the dark. You don't know where you are. You don't know where anyone is.
I know. It's that damn drunk on the stairs, blowing all the candles out. Oh, here. I've got a lighter.
I was horrified to death. It went right around my throat.
What did?
The window was open in my room. It blew out the candle as I opened the door, and then a long strand of seaweed touched my throat. I thought, in the dark, that I was being strangled by the wet hand.
God, I don't wonder why you yelled.
Who's that?
It's all right, Miss Claythorne. It's only me.
Okay, here we are. Who fired that shot?
He's dead. Shot through the head.
Got in Chancery. And then there were four.
Miss Claythorne.
You cut me out of the way. You got me to go upstairs for cigarettes. You put that seaweed there. You did it all so that you could kill that old helpless women in the dark. You were mad. All of you. Crazy. That's why you wanted the red curtain and the knitting wool. It's all planned. Long ago. For that. Oh my God. Let me get out of here.
Three little soldier boys sitting in a row, thinking as they guzzle who's the next to go.
Philip.
That's all right, Miss Claythorne.
Somehow in the daylight everything seems different.
Oh, quite so. But you mustn't forget there's still a dangerous homicidal lunatic somewhere loose on this island.
Why is it one doesn't feel jittery about it anymore?
Because we now know, beyond any possible doubt, who it is, Blore?
That's right.
I mean, it was uncertain before. Looking at each other and wondering which.
I said all along it was Dr. Armstrong.
Oh, you did, my sweet, you did. Until you went completely bad and suspect us all.
Seems rather silly in the light of day.
Very silly.
Allowing it is Armstrong. What has happened to her?
Well, we know what she wants us to think happened to her.
Tell me exactly, what did you find?
One shoe. Just one shoe. Sitting prettily on a cliff edge. Inference, Dr. Armstrong has gone completely off her onion and committed suicide.
But
how did she get your revolver?
Well, I haven't the slightest idea.
Tell me exactly what happened in the night.
Well, after you threw your fit of hysterics and ran into your room and locked yourself in your room we figured we should all go to bed. So we went to bed and locked ourselves in our rooms.
And about an hour later, I heard someone walk past my door. So I came out and I tapped on Blore's. But he was there, all right. And then I came out and checked on Armstrong. But it was empty. So that's when I come to your room. And tell you to sit tight for whatever happened. And then I came down here. And the balcony window, well, it was open. And my revolver was just laying there, besides it.
But why in the devil would Armstrong chuck that revolver down there?
Well, don't ask me. Either it's an accident or she's crazy.
Where do you think she is?
Lurking. Somewhere. Wanting to have a crack at one of us.
We ought to search the house.
And what? Get ambushed?
I never thought of that.
Are you quite sure you've heard no one moving right after we went up?
I imagined all sort of things. But nothing short of setting the house on fire would have got me to unlock my door.
I see. Just thoroughly suspicious.
What's the use of talking? What are we going to do?
Well, if you ask me, we sit tight and do nothing. Take no risk.
Look, I want to go after that fella.
Dog of a bulldog breed you are, Blore. And besides, between friends, and without prejudice, you did go in for that little spot of poetry, didn't you?
Well, I don't suppose it makes any odds now. Lander was innocent, all right. But the gang, they squared me. Put him away for a stretch. Mind you, I wouldn't admit it now if it wasn't for...
Oh, you think we're in the same boat?
I couldn't admit it in front of Miss Justice Wargrave, could I?
Oh, no. Hardly.
I say, that fellow Seaton, do you think he was innocent?
You know what? I'm quite sure of it. Wargrave must have had a good reason for wanting him out of the way. Well, you know what, Blore? I'm delighted you finally came off of your virtuous perch. Hope you made a tiny bit out of it.
Not like what I ought to have done. They're mean, not the Benny gang. I did get my promotion, though.
And land out get a pair of servitude. And die in jail.
I couldn't tell he was going to die, could I?
Well, no. That was your bad luck.
You mean his?
Or yours, too. Because as a result of that fact, you may get your life cut short. Unpleasantly soon.
What? Me? By Armstrong? I'll watch it.
Oh, you'll have to. And remember, there's only 3 little soldier boys there.
Well, what about you?
Well, I shall be quite all right. Thank you. I've been in tight places before, and I got out of them. And I'm meaning to get out this one. Besides, got a revolver.
Yes, that revolver. Now listen, you said you found it laying down there. Who's to say you haven't had it the whole time?
No room in your head for more than one idea at a time, is there?
No, but it's a good one.
You're sticking to it.
And I would have thought of a better story if I were you.
Well, I only wanted something simple that a policeman could understand.
What's wrong with the police?
Well, nothing. Now that you left the force.
Look here, Captain Lombard. If you're an honest man that you claim to be...
Come, boy, we need you less honest.
If you're telling the truth for once, you ought to chuck that revolver down there.
Don't be an ass.
I said I'll go through the house looking for Armstrong. If I'm willing to do that, will you hand me that revolver?
No. This revolver is mine. It's my revolver. I'm sticking to it.
Then you know I'm beginning to
Oh,
think.
you're not beginning to think it, you square-headed flatty. You thought it last night. And now you go back to your original idea. That I'm the one and only UN unknown Owen? Is that it?
Well, I won't contradict you
Would
there.
you think what you damn well please? But I warned you.
I think you two are behaving like a pair of children.
Oh, sorry, teacher.
Of course, Captain Lombard is in the unknown. The unknown Owen is Armstrong. And I will tell you one very good proof of it.
Oh yeah? And what's that?
Think of the rhyme. 4 little soldier boys going out to sea. A red herring swallowed one, and then there were 3. Don't you see the subtlety of it? A red herring? That's Armstrong's pretended suicide. But it's only a red herring, so really she isn't dead.
Pretty ingenious, I suppose.
To my mind, it's absolute proof, you see. It's all mad because she's mad. She takes a queer, childish, crazy pleasure in sticking to the right and making everything happen in that way. Dressing up the judge, killing Rogers while he was chopping sticks, using a hypodermic needle on Miss Brent while she might just as well have drugged her. She's got to make it all fit in.
That might give us a pointer. Where do we go from here? 3 little soldier boys walking in the zoo. A big bear hugged one, and then there were 2. She'll have a job with that one. There is no zoo on the island. A boat! A boat!
Hey! Hey!
Oh, God!
Blore got his.
How?
It's a booby trap. All set and wired across the door. Attached to something above.
Is he?
Yes. Crush. Head stuck in. That great Born's there, holding a flap from the landing.
Bear? Oh, how ghastly! It's this awful childishness.
I know. God. What a fool Blore was.
And now, there are 2.
And we have to be very careful with ourselves.
We shan't do it. She'll get us. We'll never get away from this island.
Well, of course we will. Because I haven't been beaten yet.
Don't you feel that there's someone now in this room watching us? Watching and waiting?
No. That's just nerves.
And you don't feel it?
No, I don't.
Please, Philip, let's get out of here. Anywhere. Perhaps if that was a boat, they'll see us.
All right. Then we'll go to the top of the island, and we'll wait for a relief team to come. It's a sheer cliff on the far side, and we can see if anyone approaches us from the house.
Anywhere's better than staying here.
But wouldn't you be rather cold in that dress?
I would be colder if I were dead.
Perhaps you're right. Well, a quick reconnaissance.
Please be careful, Philip.
Don't worry, all right? I'm not Blore. There's no window directly above. There's something washed up on the rock.
What? Looks like a dead body.
You know what? You stay right here. I'm going to have a look.
Dead body. It is only me and him and Armstrong's body.
It's Armstrong's body. Drowned. And washed up at the high water mark.
So there's no one on this island. No one at all except us two.
Yes. And now we know where we are.
Now we know where we are.
Very pretty trick of yours with that wire. Old Wargraves always knew you were dangerous.
You...
So you did drown that kid after all.
I didn't. That's where you're wrong. Please believe me. Please listen to me.
All right, I'm listening. But you better make it a good story.
It isn't a story. It's the truth. I didn't kill that child. It was someone else.
Well, who?
A man. Peter's uncle. I was in love with him.
Oh, go on. This is interesting.
Don't sneer. It was hell. Absolute hell. Peter was born after his father's death. If he'd been a girl, he would have got everything.
Well, a well-known tale of the wicked uncle.
Yes, he was wicked. And I didn't know. He said he loved me. One day we were on the beach, and I had to go back to the house for something I'd forgotten. When I got back, Peter was swimming out to the rock. I knew he hadn't a chance. The current had got him already. I flew towards the beach, but he tried to stop me.
Well, go on. This is interesting.
I pushed past him. He tried to stop me, but I got away. I rushed down and plunged into the sea and swam after Peter. He was gone before I could get to him.
So everything went off at the inquest. They called you a plucky girl, and you kept quiet about Hugh's part in the business.
Do you think anyone would have believed me? Besides, I couldn't. I really was in love with him.
And so I suppose Hugh let you down?
Do you think I ever wanted to see him again?
Well, you certainly are an accomplished liar, Vera.
Can't you believe the truth when you hear it?
Then who set up that trap? That cue ball? Because I didn't. And now Armstrong's dead. And I've broken most of the commandments in my time. And I am no saint. But there's one thing that I won't stand for. And that's murder.
You won't stand for murder? What about those natives you left to die in Africa?
That's what's so damn funny. I didn't.
What do you mean?
God, just once. Mocked you. I played the hero. Risked my life to try to save the lives of my men. Left them my weapon, ammunition, and all the food there was. And then I took a chance through the bush. And by the most incredible luck, it came off. But it wasn't in time to save them. And words got around that I've deliberately abandoned my men. Well, that's life for you.
Do you expect me to believe that? Why? You actually admitted the whole thing.
I know, because I got such a kick of watching their faces.
You can't fool me with a stupid lie like that.
Oh, blast you!
Why didn't I see it before? It's there in your face! A face of a killer!
You can't fool me no longer.
You... Now.
You cunning little devil.
If you come one step nearer, I'll shoot.
You're young. Lovely. Quite mad.
Soldier blend. My rhyme.
My mind! Silence in the court! It's all right, my dear. Don't be frightened. This is the course of justice. You'll get justice here. Oh, you thought I was a ghost. Armstrong said I was dead. That was a clever part of my plan. So I will fix up my supposed death, so I should be free to spine upon the guilty one. She thought it was an excellent plan. Came out that night to meet me by the cliff. I sent her over with a push so easily. She swallowed my red herring, all right. You know Vera Claythorne? All my life, I wanted to take life. Yes. I had to get the enjoyment I could out of sentencing the guilty to death. But it wasn't enough. I wanted more. I want to do it with my own hands. But I'm the judge of the high course. I've got a sense of justice. You are all guilty, but the law couldn't touch you. So I had to take the law into my own hands. Into my own hands. Silence in the court! Anthony Martin's first. Then Mrs. Roger. Barbiton and Brandy. Mackenzie. Got Roger with an axe. Don't Emily Brent's coffee so she couldn't feel the hypodermic. Booby trap for Blore. Blore is a fool. I knew returning that revolver was a clever touch. I knew you two would suspect each other at the end. But the question is, who wins out? I banked on you, my dear. Besides, it's always more interesting to have the girl at the end. Oh, prisoner at the bar. Have you anything to say why sentence should not be passed on you? Vera, Elizabeth, Claythorne, I sentence you to death. Stop! Stop! I'm not guilty! I'm not guilty! Oh, but the homicides must plead not guilty until it's going all out for the verdict of insanity! Innocent! But I'm innocent, I swear it! I never wanted to kill that child. Oh, so you didn't drown that boy after all. Really interesting. But it doesn't matter much now, does it? What? I can't spoil my lovely rhyme. You're the last one. The little soldier boy left all alone. He went and hanged himself. I must have my hanging, my dear. My hanging!
It's alright, darling. It's alright.
I thought I killed you.
Well, thank God, women can't shoot straight.
I shall never forget this.
Of course you will. You know, there's another ending to that 10 little soldier boys rhyme. One little soldier boy left all alone. We got married, and then there were none.
Armstrong! Blore! Wargrave! Vera! Lombard!
ถ้ามังกรมันต้อง
Light!
มันต้องมีให้กระสือด้วยเหรอ
Makeup! Set design! Video tools! And lastly, our teacher, Ajahn Analiza.
Stand up.
One, two, three.